All right, Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, Chapter 18. We are going to talk about that episode today. Overall, I was super excited about a lot of things I saw in this episode. There's things that I maybe wish would have happened differently, but by and large, I think this episode gave us some real substance that's setting up, I think, where the rest of the season's going to be going, and I'm really excited to get into it. So let's dig straight into the episode. First and foremost, this is Grogu's episode, my friends, and I really love that. We got to see Grogu in action. We got to see him walking around. We got to see him literally piloting the N1 starfighter. Well, I think R5 was, but basically he was, going to find Bo-Katan. We see Grogu say his first words, potentially. I think that's something I'm not really seeing discussed enough, that we're going to potentially have Grogu using more language soon, which I'm excited about as well. And of course, using the Force. And so I was really excited about a lot of things that they're doing with Grogu in this episode. And Bo-Katan, too, it seems, was really respecting his abilities as well as a navigator, something that Jedi are known for, and using the Force as well, even though she carried the brunt of the rescue mission for Din Djarin. So overall, I was pretty happy about Grogu in this episode. Something that I really want to focus on is, by and large, I think that this episode was really satisfying as a fan of the Clone Wars to watch. The views of Mandalore and the emotion behind it, which I think they really let the actors carry on in this episode, was really palpable. The one thing that I kind of wish they would have contrasted is to have some kind of juxtaposition of Mandalore now versus Mandalore in the past. And I think they really relied on the audience having seen the Clone Wars, which is fine. It worked for me, and I think it probably worked for most of you, but I know there's a lot of people that watch this show that probably have no idea what Mandalore looked like in its prime. And also, selfishly, I think I would have really liked to see some more live-action Mandalore in the prime. But for our first look at live-action Mandalore, very good. And of course, we see a lot of the ruins of Mandalore here. This scene right here, going down into the mines, it just... I got some serious Lord of the Rings, Mines of Moria vibes, which I thought worked really well for the episode. And then, of course, seeing the scale of the destruction. We saw the destruction in the Clone Wars, but to see the after effect and just how leveled this planet got by the Empire, I think it really just, for me, it just kind of drives in just how devastating the Empire was at its height. And so I thought the emotion of the episode ended up being really good, especially seeing Bo-Katan react to everything, because you could just see, I thought that it was carried really, really well by Bo-Katan and how she responded to everything that was going on as she was, exploring Mandalore. And I to my knowledge, I think it's the first time she's been back, and just really, really, really good stuff there. I thought R5 in this episode was really funny, and I believe this is the same R5 unit that Uncle Owen passed on in favor of R2-D2, which was pretty fun to see. He's a little cowardly droid. It's kind of like a astromech version of C-3PO in a lot of ways, and just a little bit of personality flair in there that I thought was kind of entertaining. Now, a couple things I really want to focus on here. This is going to be a brief review, but the Darksaber in this episode, Mando was obviously able to handle himself, but you can clearly see he is not confident at all with the Darksaber. Contrast that with Bo-Katan, who later in the episode wields the Darksaber to save Mando against the General Grievous want-to-be of the episode, which was also, I think, a fun addition. The aesthetics of that character, the eye, taking over the spider droid and all that. I wonder what that character was doing, by the way. It looked like he was maybe farming dead Mandalorians' blood to stay alive or something like that. I don't know if that's going to be explored later on. But anyway, the difference between Mando wielding the Darksaber and Bo-Katan is very confident with it was interesting. And obviously Bo-Katan didn't see how much Mando struggled with the Darksaber, but I do wonder if that's going to be relevant later on. Mando, obviously, I think they're kind of setting up this unification of the Mando of Din Djarin and Bo-Katan there's going to be some rub there. I think Bo-Katan's going to have to swallow a lot of pride, and I'm honestly not convinced she's going to do that. And I think if she gets a chance to see how Mando wields the Darksaber, I think that's going to be a topic of discussion. I think it's going to be an issue for her. It might prompt her to challenge Mando for the Darksaber. So I'm curious to see. It feels to me like maybe they're on a collision course. And of course, we see the mythosaur. This is the symbol of Mandalore. Ancient Mandalorians were able to ride these, like Boba Fett was riding the Rancor, for example. And I think Bo-Katan, seeing that this presumably extinct creature existed in the mines or in the living waters, that changed something in her. You see it at the end of the episode. I don't know exactly what that means. Does she think that she can maybe tame the beast and lead Mandalore? Does she think that Din should? Is she maybe thinking about joining the cult? I don't think she is. But I'm really, really, really excited to see what they do with this. And I think it was probably the oomph and twist that the season needed, right? Because I don't think that this could be carried on just by the adventures of Din Djarin and Grogu traveling through the galaxy looking for parts for IG-11, and he's bathed in the waters. He's going to go back and join the cult and live happily ever after. I think that the mythosaur coming back into play here, which, by the way, the way that they filmed this episode, the way that they revealed that was chilling, I thought. I think that that is going to be a launching point for how Mandalore comes back together. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it. Something I almost hope they don't do. I could see them, having this arc where now all of a sudden Din Djarin is confident with the Darksaber and he's able to ride the mythosaur and all of this. And I don't know. I feel like he's got more distance to travel in one season or that's probably too much distance to cover in one season, but maybe not. Or maybe that's something Bo-Katan will do, or maybe it'll be something completely different, which is probably what it will be because I'm not the best at predicting these things. And so, anyway, all I know is intrigue times 10 with the mythosaur being revealed. Very, very excited about that. And so, also, in terms of the waters, I'm really curious, is Mando going to just ditch all of this and try to rejoin with the cult, and will they accept him back? I have a feeling they won't. Or maybe they will. I'm really curious to see how that reunion goes and what launches us into the rest of the movement, which I think is leading towards a unification of the Mandalorian broken sects throughout the galaxy. So anyway, let me know what you think about this episode. I was personally really excited about it. I'm going to say I enjoyed this episode more than the season premiere. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. All right, my friends, let me know what you thought. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,